Yo YouTube, KobeInvesting back with another trading video, and as y'all can see by the title of the video, I will be doing a breakdown on a common setup that I take in the markets. But it is July 27, 2026, which is a Monday. Now, I did not take this trade on the day, but I just seen that this was a common setup model that I take in the markets, and as I can see on Notion, I documented a trade back. This is not the same trade, but this here is a trade that I took back that I documented, and I just seen that it was similar to this trade right here on the day. So I figured I should do a breakdown and then, just give you guys a free educational video on a model that is actually in my playbook. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. The first thing that I do is I go over to Forex Factory to see if we have any news, any red folder news. We did not have none on the day. So moving over from news, the second thing that I do is I go over to my 4-hour time frame. Now on my 4-hour time frame, this is where I mark up my 4-hour high and my 4-hour low. But for this breakdown, for this specific trade, I only marked up my 4-hour high that we have here and not the 4-hour low. Now, as we can see, this here is my 4-hour high. I'm moving over from the 4-hour high. I then proceed to my 1-hour time frame to do the exact same thing, to mark up my 1-hour highs instead and my 1-hour lows. This here is my 1-hour low. And moving over, this is my 1-hour high. Now, once I'm done with marking up my highs and lows, I then proceed to move over to my 30-minute time frame. Now, on a 30-minute time frame, this is where I see the overall market structure, if we are in a bearish market or a bullish market. Today, we were in a bullish market, creating higher highs and higher lows and higher highs. And also on the 30-minute time frame, this is where I mark up my supply and demand, depending on where price is at a 30 New York session open Central Standard Time. As we can see, I marked up a supply area that we had above this 4-hour high and above this 1-hour high. Like I always say, just because we are in a bullish market doesn't mean that we will always take buys, and just because we are in a bearish market overall doesn't always mean that I would take sales. Now, moving over to the 5-minute time frame. The 5-minute time frame and the 2-minute time frame is where I execute my trades. These time frames are the time frames where I get in the markets. Now, as we can see, this is the 5-minute time frame. This here is the 8:30 candle. But as we can see at 8:30, we're trading above this 4-hour high, and then we have this 1-hour high. But I really wasn't too focused on this 4-hour high because we had already broke this 4-hour high, which we had already took out buy side liquidity, which means that we could potentially shoot to the downside. And that is exactly what we did. Now, I was also confident in sales on today because we also had a rejection right here, and we had a rejection to this supply area above this 4-hour high, also this 1-hour high. Now, we have two confluences that we could continue to go to the downside. Now, we actually have 3 confluences now because we had a retest. If I go over to the 3-minute time frame, on the 3-minute time frame, as we can see, we had multiple rejections to this supply area, taking out buy side liquidity. Also, we had a pullback. Now, we had a pullback to this supply area. We could not continue to go up after this pullback. We had a very bearish candle here, breaking these candle lows here for more confluence. So we had around like 3-4 confluences telling us that we could no longer go up. Now, after having 4 confluences, we can see that we clearly have no more buy power, no more buy momentum, and that we could continue to sell to the downside, hitting this 1-hour low. This trade was already going on a 1-4. It was a 1-3 going on a 1-4, and that's good enough. I would have risked 100 pips or 1,000 points on this trade for 3,000 points or 4,000 points. It would have hit either way, but as y'all can see, I'll go over to my Notion. This is kind of a replica of the trade that I could have took on today. I mean, we broke these 1 hour highs. This is the 5-minute, by the way. We broke the 1 hour high, and then we have a displacement candle right here breaking these candle lows here, and we could no longer continue to go up after we have rejections here. We did the exact same thing. We had the retest right here, and we could no longer go up from this retest. We continued to drop to the downside, hitting these 1 hour lows and even lower as we did here. Now, it's just the same thing, documenting your trades matter. Always document your trades. You can always learn, keep learning more, and work is never done here. But I think that'll be the end of the video. I hope you guys learned something new on the day. If you guys see this, if you guys ever see something like this, this setup right here, feel free to take it. It's a good setup. One of my highly used setups in my playbook, by the way. But if y'all like the video, go ahead and do me a favor, like, subscribe for me. I'll catch y'all in the next video.